You ever go to parallel park your car and bam, you hit the curb? Well, don't worry, it happens to the best of us. In this video, I'm gonna go step by step and show you exactly how to fix that nasty scratched up rim. Let's jump right into it. First things first, you wanna start taking the nasty looking wheel off, so get to breaking those lugs, jacking the car up, and always use a wheel chock and jack stand. You can do this process with the wheel on the car, just make sure to mask the brake off. Now with the wheel off, I'm going to give it a good cleaning with some dish soap and a sponge, then dry it off with a towel and let it sit in the sun for a minute just to make sure there is no water left anywhere. Now take the wheel over to a place where you can get to sanding. You want to scuff and level the scratches out with some 80 grit sandpaper. I also like to use some sort of sanding block, so I'm sanding nice, smooth, and level. Make sure you don't have any high spots by rubbing your fingers over the sanded scratches, and I think it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyways, repeat this on all the scuffs. Now to get rid of those gnarly 80 grit scratches, I grabbed some 220 grit paper and sand a couple inches beyond that 80 grit sand. You also can't really see it, but I'm wearing a full respirator protecting my eyes and lungs from this dust that I'm sanding up. The scratched up area is all smoothed out and I don't see any more 80 grit scratches, so it's almost time to hit it with some filler. Anytime I'm about to paint, or in this case add some filler, I rub the surface down with some isopropyl alcohol, and because I want the filler to really stick in these deep cracks, I make sure the inside of the scratches are cleaned by using a wire brush. And the last piece of prep before filler is you probably have some scuffs along the outside edge of your rim. I want to fill all the way to the edge of the rim and leave a nice crisp edge, so I use the tried and true playing card trick to help achieve the edge and keep the filler off the tire. With that rim clean and the cards tucked in, it's time to add the filler. I'm going with some Evercoat reinforced filler from my local auto parts store. You want to make sure you're getting a metal or reinforced filler, as this is going on a rim and needs to be stronger than the typical body filler. I use the nifty little mixing guide that comes with the filler. Follow the guide and mix the filler and hardener together in a folding and repeat motion. You always want to fold filler, not stir it, because that minimizes all the bubbles in your filler. Now once the filler and hardener is all mixed up, you only have about 5 minutes to work with it. You'll want to look at where you sanded and pull the filler smoothly over the sanded area, leaving just a little bit of the 220 grit scratches peeking through. I lay the filler out smoothly with the spreader on the flat surfaces, and then to get around the edges where I put the playing cards, I use my finger. And yeah, if you're going to use your finger like this, make sure you wear a glove. The filler has dried for the recommended 30 minutes, and look how great these cards worked out. When I pull them away, they leave a nice crisp line and there's no filler on the tire. Now it's time to start sanding, so I grab my 80 grit sandpaper and bring down the high spots. You can do this all by hand, but to save some time, I did grab my orbital sander and threw some 80 grit on it. Keep running your hands across the places that were filled. It should be rough from that 80 grit sandpaper, but it should be level with all the rest of the rim. Blow away as much dust as you can. You can even use a leaf blower here. Then sand that 80 grit out with some 220, making sure to sand out beyond all those rough 80 grit scratches. It's all about sanding and feeling for those high spots, rubbing over where you sanded until it feels smooth. If it feels smooth, it'll look smooth under the paint. Now say you feel a low spot or you missed a scratch, now is the time to add that second pass of filler. I got lucky with my first pass of filler, so I hit the entire rim with 400 grit, leaving a nice haze and something for the primer to stick onto. Then make sure you're getting all those nooks and crannies with that 400 grit. Next, we are going to bring the rim over to somewhere we can paint. I start prepping for paint by hitting the entire wheel with some spray away glass cleaner, followed by another wipe of an alcohol covered rag until the rag is clean. I could just throw some playing cards or index cards around the rim, but to prevent overspray, I also like to throw some plastic around the entire tire and behind the rim, then put my cards in. This way I can make nice sweeping spray motions, ending my spray off the rim and not have to worry about cleaning up overspray. I know I could take some acetone or paint thinner and wipe away the overspray, but masking it off isn't that hard, so I just do it this way. The only thing to note is pushing your cards into the rim. You just want to scoot that card into the bead and make sure it's in there nice and secure. And one last piece of tape over the valve stem. I just use my pinky, make a little tape cylinder, then throw that on top of the valve stem and we're good to go. With the rims clean, we are ready to paint, so I grab my primer, which has been sitting in the sun, and give it a good shake. Pro tip, if you warm up your aerosol cans before you paint, you're going to get a better, more atomized spray. Always give your cans a good shake, throw that respirator on, and start spraying. I laid down 1 medium to light coat, followed by 2 medium to heavy coats, and you want to space those coats about 10 minutes in between each coat. After 1 hour of dry time, the primer coat looks great, and I could totally just spray the base coat and the clear coat. But to improve my results that much more, I take all the masking off and sand the entire rim down with 800 grit. This 800 grit is going to help smooth out all the primer and all the high spots, making that base coat lay down nice and smooth. Then I bring the wheel back over to my paint area, clean that rim back up with the spray weight glass cleaner, and mask it all back up, playing cards and all. And another tip, you notice how the rim is all propped up? Aerosol cans like to spray straight out horizontally, not towards the ground vertically. So if you can paint that way, it'll improve your results even more. Now it's time for the fun paint. I went with this Duplicolor silver meant for Toyota because there wasn't really an Audi silver rim paint. I read on a blog this is close, so let's roll with it. When you're painting your rim, do a little research and try and choose the best match. Then you know the drill, warmed up can, well shook, and let's hit it. With this Duplicolor base, you want to spray about 3 to 4 light coats, spacing those coats out about 10 minutes. I find the more metallic blends of paint need more coats, so just keep spraying light coats evenly across the entire rim surface, hitting it at different angles until you're completely evenly covered. Let that base coat dry about 30 minutes and it's time for some clear. I went with the Duplicolor wheel gloss to shine the paint up and protect the rim. You know the drill by now, the can's warmed up and well shook. You want to lay down 1 to 2 light coats followed by 2 medium to heavy coats. Not so heavy it drips, but that is what those 2 light first coats are for. They act as like a tack layer to make the clear not drip. You want to make sure you're looking at the rim from different angles, seeing it be nice and glossy and wet looking. And then if you need to, throw a little bit of a dust coat down to make the clear nice and even. And check out the results of that rim. It looks awesome. I wait for that clear to cure for about 4 hours, remove all the wrapping, and then bring the whole wheel over to my car. Then when you're throwing your wheel back on, just make sure you look at your vehicle specs and check out what foot-pounds your lugs need to be torqued down to. Don't forget to take the tape off the valve stem, and I also painted the hubcap off to the side and then threw that back on too. Check out those results. Super clean and way better looking than a nasty scratched up rim. And that was the whole video. I think you can tell it's all about that prep work, all that sanding, and I'm really pleased with the results. That Toyota silver actually matched the Audi silver pretty well too. So hey, if you liked this video, if it helped you out, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, check out my channel for more, and thank you for watching.